Hello students, today we will discuss about asexual reproduction in plants. This is the third lecture of the topic reproduction in organism of class 12 biology. In plants, asexual reproduction is also known as vegetative propagation. What happens here? New plants are formed from the detached part of parent plant. New plants are formed from the detached part. It may be root, it may be stem, or it may be leaves. These structures or vegetative structures such as root, stem, leaves, etc. that are capable of giving rise to new offsprings are known as vegetative propagules. So the vegetative structures such as root, stem, leaves, etc. that are capable of giving rise to new offsprings are known as vegetative propagules. Let us study those vegetative propagules one by one. First, it is the turn of roots. Vegetative propagules and it's the plants So roots, dahlia, guava. From roots arise dahlia, guava. From underground stems, such as from suckers, mint, chrysanthemum come into existence. From rhizome, ginger, turmeric, banana. From bulbs, onions, garlic. From tubers or eyes, we have potato. From underground stems, from suckers, we have mint and chrysanthemum. From rhizome, ginger, turmeric, banana. From bulbs, onions, garlic. From tubers, that is eyes, we have potato. Now it's the turn of creeping stems. Creeping stems. CREEPING, creeping stems. From runners, we have oxalis and grasses. From offsets, we have the water hyacinth, known as the terror of Bengal. We have the aerial stems also. Opuntia, leaves, Bryophyllum. What happens in the case of Bryophyllum? On the margin of leaves, on the side of leaves, what happens? Adventitious buds develop, which later on gets detached and develop into new plants. What happens in the case of Bryophyllum? From the margin of the leaves, adventitious buds develop, and after some time it gets detached and develops into new plants. Next we have bulbils, agave, and the examples are agave and oxalis. So we had underground stems, suckers, that was suckers. From suckers we had mint, chrysanthemum. From rhizome, ginger, turmeric, banana, etc. From bulbs, onion and garlic, and from tubers, potato. Tubers or eyes, potato. We have creeping stems. From creeping stems we have runners, which leads to formation of oxalis and grasses. From offsets we have water hyacinth, also known as terror of Bengal, and from aerial stems we have opuntia. From leaves we have Bryophyllum, and from bulbils we have agave and oxalis. So let us focus on water hyacinth. The scientific name of water hyacinth is EICHHORNIA, Echornia. So water hyacinth, it is the most invasive, that means attacking weeds. Weeds means such kind of plants which are quite useless, good for nothing, and it grows in standing water, not in running water. It grows in standing water. It was introduced in India because of its beautiful flowers and shape of leaves. But alas, what happened? These weeds propagate at an increasingly alarming rate, due to which what happens? These drain O2 from the water, which led in the past, or even it leading to the death of fishes. So why is water hyacinth known as the terror of Bengal? It is the most invasive weeds. It grows in standing water. It was introduced in India because of beautiful flowers and shape of leaves. But when it was introduced in Bengal, what happened? It propagated at an increasingly alarming rate. And as a result of that, what happened? It drained oxygen out of the water, which led to the death of the fishes. So it is very harmful, and that's why it is also known as terror of Bengal. It is also known as terror of Bengal. Now what happens when the conditions are unfavorable, not according to the liking? Even then, vegetative propagation takes place, but it takes place through spore formation. Mainly we have two kinds of spores, zoospores and conidia. Zoospores are microscopic, motile structures having one or two flagella. These flagella help the zoospores. These flagella help the zoospores to move in aquatic habitat for proper dispersal. So, zoospores are microscopic motile structures having one or two flagella, and these flagella help the zoospores to swim. Help the zoospores to swim in aquatic habitat. In aquatic habitat for proper dispersal of these motile structures. We have the figure here also. So these are zoospores. These are motile structures and they are formed exogenously. Not exogenously, they are formed endogenously. Endogenously, and then when the conditions are favorable, they move out. So the zoospores are formed endogenously. Conidia are non-motile. They don't move, and they are exogenous spores, that they are formed outside, and they are mainly found in Penicillium, Aspergillus, Aspergillus. See how is the structure here. Just we have to show that, nothing else. So these are conidia. What are conidia? These are exogenous structures outside, exogenous structures or pores, and they are found in Penicillium and Aspergillus. What are zoospores? These are motile, while conidia is non-motile, and it is formed exogenously. When the conditions are favorable, it moves out. So that's zoospore for you and conidia for you. So what are the various artificial? Till now we had studied about natural vegetative propagation. Now we will study about artificial vegetative propagation, or propagation which is done with the help of man-made methods. The first one is cutting. What happens in cutting? Here a small piece of plant, whether it may be root, a stem, leaves, etc. These are cut and used for propagation. And the examples in case of leaves, it's Bryophyllum, roots, tamarind, stems, sugarcane, grapes, and rose. So the first one is cutting. What happens in cutting? A small piece of plant, whether it is root, stem or leaves, these are cut, and these are cut and used for propagation, for growing plants. So if the leaves are cut, the bryophyllum arises. From roots, tamarind. From stems, sugarcane, grapes and rose. Now the second one is layering. What happens here? Roots are artificially induced on branches of stem. Before, and this thing is done before they are, or the roots are detached from their parent plant. Example, jasmine. The examples are very important. Keep in mind. Lychee, oranges. So what happens in layering? Layering means to add a layer. What happens here? The roots are artificially induced. The roots are artificially induced on branches of a stem before they get detached from the parent plant. So roots, before they get detached from the parent plant, they are artificially induced on branches of a stem, and in this way jasmine, lychee, oranges come into existence. Now the third one is grafting. What happens here? Parts of two plants are joined in such a way that they grow as one plant. What happens here? Parts of two plants are joined in such a way that they grow as a single plant. So rooted supporting portion known as stalk of one plant. So the stalk of one plant, what is stalk? The rooted supporting portion. What is stalk of one plant? The rooted supporting portion of one plant, that's a stalk, is joined what happens here? Is joined with twig of another plant, which is known as scion, which is known as scion. What happens in grafting? Parts of two plants are joined so that they grow as one plant. The rooted supporting portion, that is the portion which is fixed to the ground, is known as a stalk, and that is of one plant. On the top of that stalk, the twig of another plant known as scion is joined, and they further grow as one plant. And the examples are rose, apple, mango, plum, etc. And what are the examples? Rose, apple, mango, plum, etc. Now it's the turn of micropropagation. What happens in micropropagation? The plants, they are propagated. So what happens in micropropagation? Plants here are propagated by culturing the cells, tissues organs in a laboratory, and this thing is known as tissue culture. Due to tissue culture, an undifferentiated mass of cells known as thallus comes into existence, but afterwards this particular thallus differentiates into a small platelets. So what happens in micropropagation? The plants are propagated by culturing these cells, tissues, organs in a laboratory, and it is also known as tissue culture. Due to tissue culture, an undifferentiated mass of cells, there is no differentiation, it's a whole body, has not been differentiated into root, stem, leaves, etc. and it is known as thallus. That's the first condition. But afterwards what happens? The thallus differentiates into small plantlets. That's not platelets, it's plantlets. Plantlets into small plantlets. So that's all for today. We will continue with this lecture series. Until then, if you find my video interesting, please like it and don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't done so. So until then we meet. Have a nice day.